Welcome back, everyone. This is Akinar here with more Taiji, where last time we unlocked an area with a whole crapload of new puzzles that I was not expecting to find. So why don't we go ahead and get started with some of these puzzles? We'll just start right here at the, I guess, the entrance to the place and start with some very flowery, snaky mazy dance floors. There is a detail that I have just noticed that one of these dance floors has a red border around it, but the rest do not. So what does that mean? I don't know yet. Does it have a red border when you step on the panel? The panel itself, or the little pressure plate that our player character stands on, does not. But okay, another little detail, along with the other, we were going around last time resurveying the island looking for environmental puzzles, as well as documenting the various panels that do have a colored outline on the pressure plate. And I have not yet figured out anything. I haven't really tried to study for any patterns there. I was just in a documenting mode last time. But we'll start here with some puzzle solving. We'll worry about putting together all those overarching mysteries eventually. But we'll just go one puzzle at a time for the moment. We are being forced to start on one particular panel on each of these. So with that in mind, that does mean we're being forced to fill in a square with 1 yellow, 3 purple flower, which means one of these needs to have... How is this going to work? I think it means by necessity that the 4 purple next to us has to stay empty, right? It makes sense that we would want to go like this. Maybe not as a first step, I don't know for sure, but that would satisfy both of the initial flowers on the bottom row. As to the middle row, do we want to simply do... Is it just sufficient to do... No, it's not sufficient to do that. We would need... So we have a similar thing on the top row that we have on the bottom row. Single yellow petal flower next to an all-purple flower. Could we... The purple flowers on a board like this, where you're forced to do the snake-like walking to fill in squares, it does, I think, require any 4 purple square to be empty. Because you can't, in order to fill in that square, you have to fill in another square next to it, and you've already made it unhappy, since the 4 purples have to have all opposite on the as the petals. So I think we want to back this up, and we want to think about, if we're starting here, does it make more sense? It would make more sense to maybe do something like this. Well, not quite. How are we filling in? We kind of need... If the purple has to be empty... No, we could do it like this, couldn't we? And then... No, that doesn't work either. No, I think we actually... Oh, I could... This one is a little... Do I need to be stepping to the outside? I think if I do it that way... Oh, that might be the solution, because I can treat this as my yellow petal. If I stepped out to the right, that lets me kind of fill in the rest of these squares. Except not really. The fact that the purple flowers have to be satisfied like this, which means that this square with the single yellow is going to be filled in, which means it has to have a single yellow petal next to it. So I can't, like, step onto it and then step out again. I kind of need to, like, finish here. Like, this is the start, and it's also the corresponding one on the top row is the end, I think. So, like, it really... It really, if that is the case, I might need to, is that 100% forced? Do I have to end at this square? Is there any way to do this where I would not be ending at this square? It has to be filled in, correct? It has to be a filled in square, which means that the yellow petal has to be a filled square. And so I cannot, I think that does mean that I have to, in order to fill it in, I have to step on it. And I can't have an entry and an exit from that square because that would mean 2 yellow petals. So it has to be my exit. Or the end. So, man, it really feels like I have to start this way. But of course, those are the most dangerous words in a puzzle game. Potentially the 2 most dangerous words in a puzzle game. Have to. Because how am I satisfying the middle square? Am I just overlooking the fact that I could go like this? Was it as easy as that? The problem is, though, I still haven't filled in. I think I'm not using the empty space enough. I'm not. I think I need to be using this empty space. Even crap. Oh, I can do it like this. I can do it like this. This, I think, works. Have we done it? Yes. Okay. Use that empty space. They give it to you for a reason. All right, we'll save, I think, the red puzzle for last. That's probably what they want us to do. So maybe we should be doing the red puzzle first. We'll get to you. Don't think that red border is going to save you from puzzle solving. We're starting here on a, once again, on a single yellow flower, a 1 yellow petal, which again, I think means that this has to be, I think that has to be our start, right? Now the single petaled yellows in the center, it's possible that we don't have to step on those. I'm not sure yet. Is this a required start? Is this something that we have to do? Well, oh, okay, I could go like this. I could do this. It's possible that we do want to leave. Yeah, I think we want to do it like this. Not quite. Can I go like this? Yeah. Now we had a warm up, I think, on that first puzzle. Let's call it that. First puzzle of the day is always a bit of a warm up. So maybe we're kicking into gear. If we're not starting on a single yellow petal flower, then do we just leave? No, that's gonna, can't do that. Can't do that. I think this means the reverse logic of what we had with the first puzzle, because we're not starting on, I could end the puzzle on a square like this, using that same logic that we had before, where the single yellow petal is the filled in square. But I could not walk over it and then walk out. Can't do that. So at least 3 of these, I think, have to be empty. So this first one, we could like end over here and leave this square empty as we go. So we might focus on, well, we could do the thing that we said we were going to do, is use the empty space. Now, if I walk to this point here, I'm in trouble because I can't keep going. If I go here, this flower on the right-hand side is now happy. I could... I'm definitely required to start here. It's the, these corners are a little tricky to deal with. Do I need to be using... I probably need to be going like this right here. That's probably what I need. I need to do something like this, because that lets me end here. That lets me end there. Good. Use the empty space. That is the very important lesson here that needs to be minded. So here the empty space is in our corners. Well, all three corners that do not have flowers. Okay, the purple in the center. We need to surround that with filled in squares one way or the other. The square in the bottom right is actually happy right now. It's happy the way it is, and it would be happy even if we do that. That's fine. The one on the bottom in the middle is also happy at this point. The square that we're standing on is the purple petal. And then the square on the right... The square on the right is maybe where we end, except I haven't filled in... Haven't completely filled in. I've got to do something different here. We've got to use the empty space. We could end like here if we go around the counterclockwise. We could do something like... Well, we need to fill in... Oh, this is interesting. Are we forced to end here? We might be forced to end here because this recurring arrangement of having 1 yellow, 3 purple flower next to a 4 purple flower, and the fact that we're not standing on either one of them kind of forces the issue. It's saying that the 4 purple has to be empty, and therefore this one here has to be filled. But the only way to make that happy is if we end there. We're walking onto it and leaving the single petal that we just walked from to stand in as the yellow petal. So, with that in mind, if we're ending there, I wanted to start this way, but what was the issue that I can't just go around like this? Like, this makes every... No, wait, that doesn't make... Oh, crap. I always forget this thing with the flowers. There is a peculiarity with the fact that when there's 3 yellows like this on a boundary, we have to have all 3 of the yellows on, they have to all be on the board. So, shit. Well, that means... Oh, and the same thing goes... Well, okay, see, they're happy right now, right? Because both of those, the flower here and the flower here are both empty, and so the yellow petals are treated as empty. And that's what we have on the board. But as soon as I go down... I would need, I have to navigate over to the left to make this guy happy. I have to at least... Do I have... Let me think about this. So if this here is filled in... No, it's okay if we leave... Yeah, if this square stays empty, we can do this. I think... Okay. I think we go here, and if we fill everything in here, we're all right. We can do this. No? Oh, it's because I filled that one in. Shit. Try this again. try this one more time. But better. Did I just do the same thing that I did before? I want to do... actually here. That's what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay. Okay. No special sound or anything. I'm solving the red panel there. I want to know what's going on with this red border. I want to know what's going on with so many of the meta considerations with all of the various puzzles throughout. The meta puzzles, right? Environmental puzzles. Curious eventually to open up the hub puzzle, crack that code, and see what might unlock as a result of that. But we'll keep that on the back burner for now. I think we'll keep going with these. These do have red borders as well, but they don't break a pattern. So who knows? This may or may not be significant. Let's get the cat laser brain focused on just solving the next puzzle here, shall we? I like that we've got subtraction finally back in the mix. And it looks like the way that that is going to be employed is in making sure we have an empty space. Does this give feedback on all of the... It does give... It's nice that we don't have the training wheels. We do have... I call them training wheels when you have like the individualized feedback of each symbol. It'll blink at you when showing you which particular ones are unhappy. So at this point here, these are the dots and the subtractor dots are unhappy, but as soon as I just put them in any space together, they're happy because they cancel each other out and it becomes zero sum. So that's one element that we need to, I guess since they're forcing us to start here, it does mean that the dots are going to be, we're going to be walking on those dots one way or the other. There's a lot of elements to make happy here. This is an interesting one. The fact that we are here next to, we've got this flower below us, and it has 2 yellow petals. I don't know that we have to walk on it, right? This is the thing, there's some flexibility. Whether we fill in the yellow, whether we fill in that flower or not. If we do fill it in, what does that mean for the green lines? Do we go... Could we fill in like it kind of, I think we might have to put the green lines within. I wonder if we can do something like this. I think I'm definitely running into a problem if I go this way. I think I would need to do this. Does that work? Holy crap, that was definitely a flow. That was a flow solution. I sort of put this constraint on myself and says, what happens if we step onto this flower first rather than going to the right? And then I just sort of felt through from there. I was like, okay, maybe it makes sense that the green shape, I think it does feel required that the lines have to go in the empty spaces, because how the heck would you on a snaky dance floor walk over lines and actually make rooms that line up, that mirror each other? You're all just going to be, you're going to be making one big room for everybody, which can work if you've got diagonal lines, you know, like you could do something like, if the board would let us here, if the board lets us, or if I'm smart about things. Well, I don't know if I could or could not, but if you could draw like a 4x4 square that contains, I guess I could do it like that. The lines would actually be happy with this arrangement. So there is a situation, depending on the board, where the lines can go in the same room. But on the one we were dealing with at first, did not feel like that was going to be the case. So we'll take the win, even though that was just when I sort of, I didn't logic out. And there are so many puzzles in this game that feel that way. There's logic, but you're also kind of intuiting the solution in real time. It's a fun feeling when it happens. In order to make this one work, it kind of feels like you need, no, that wouldn't, well, maybe this works. Maybe this works if I go back to here and go like this. And go like this. Except I needed to go like this. Cool. That's another one where maybe that's just a simple puzzle. I feel like that one being a smaller arrangement, there was only so many ways to split the diamonds based on the fact that you are walking across a dance floor. Okay. We have two fully purple flowers. We're starting on a green diamond, so we're at least walking over the other green diamond. I don't know if we're ending there. But the two purples do give us some constraints. We know that there's the purple in the bottom left. It sort of makes sense that we would be ending at the green diamond on the bottom. Maybe, maybe not. But it really feels like that could be the case. If we are, I think we have to at some point fill in this square. Maybe not directly, but at some point that needs to happen, because I cannot at this point, having filled in one of its petals, the 3 yellow petals requires us to do like this at some point. Now, do we go this direction first? Or maybe like this? No, that's not gonna, the middle one's not going to be very happy if we do that. I could do, actually, this, couldn't I? No, I have a problem now with, the center flower, except maybe I don't. But now I have a problem with this guy. So at some point along the way, could I have avoided filling in? Could I have avoided, like if I do this at this point, everything up to this point is happy. And even, wow, the only thing that's mad is the purple in the corner, but we have to go like this to make it happy, and then that means that so we have to just, it feels like we're very close to a solve, but I need to, like, I don't know, redo the squares here somehow. I just don't quite remember in what order we walked these, but it does kind of show you, if you back up to a certain square, it shows you, oh, you're up to this point here. If I go, would it be better for me to Could I instead... No, it kind of does feel like I need to start the way I did, because the logic gets a little tricky with these flowers in the top left if I don't pay attention to them first. Like if I try to go out to the right and fill in that flower and then sort of just ignore these guys, I can't completely ignore them. Let's for now assume that this has to be the case, but let's be ready to re-examine that if I really can't maneuver my board here in a way that makes sense. I'm going to back up to here, and I'm going to see... Maybe I need to go around the board this way? Or perhaps this way? So that would make this flower happy. And now the only thing that I need to do is go like this. But I'm still going to run into problems. Because eventually... No, I don't run into problems, do I? Because I can stop right there. Let's go. Okay. Cardinal directions only. I don't have to, like, fully surround the purple flowers at the diagonals. Gotta remember, we're playing Taiji here, of course. We should know by this point. Okay. We're off to, I would say, a decent start. I think maybe let's just head over in this direction and keep going section by section in this place. One puzzle at a time, that's all you can do. They're giving us several different constraints to force our hand at the start. But they're forcing us along a diagonal here, which... what exactly does that mean? It definitely means that we can't fill that diamond in. That diamond there has to stay empty, because these two are forced. Does it mean that this here is forced? Maybe, maybe not. It could be that we might want to do something like this. It could be that we want to do something like that, and then do this. Is it as simple as that? Okay. Take them. Take the layups. If it just, you know, sometimes I'm like, the very easy thing to do is just fill in. Well, we did end up doing that, though. We did end up filling these two squares right next to each other, so I take that back. It would have been maybe easy to try to fill in this square to pair together these guys. And I guess I steered away from that. I was like, let's go the unintuitive way on this one and try to stretch out of what they might be nudging us into doing. There might be multiple ways to get that one done, though. Lots of constraints on these diamond puzzles, but that's probably a good thing. Here, the fact that we are filling these two, once again, the same constraint goes with those yellow diamonds. This one, by necessity, must be filled in. Now, the purple diamonds, it could make a lot of sense to just fill those in like so. This white... Oh, interesting. Okay, I guess this white here has to be empty. They're forcing our hand with these two white diamonds are filled in, so somehow we have to connect those two. They're not quite doing the same thing with the black diamonds. But it is interesting that this one, this blue diamond here is forced, which means I think this one has to be empty, because otherwise there would be no way to connect this black diamond to anything else. So this one has to stay empty. And then therefore it would have to pair with this guy down here, would it not? Which means this one has to be filled. And then similarly over here, well, is there a similarly? Is there a similarly? I guess I guess the fact that these 2 diamonds here are empty. Whoops. That these 2 are empty. And this one is force empty. Well, this one has to be empty as well. If I fill that, I'm not going to be able to pair it with anybody. But it also sort of means, it means that these, we'd have to find a way to separate. This is going to be, could be an interesting arrangement or build. One of the problems here is, how do I get this white one filled in? I guess I have to be a little more, I have to circumnavigate just a bit more. And then I can go like this to fill in that. Does that just work? It does just work. I really did not rigorously check that. I was just like, well, I think this one here. I'm in a flow mood, I think, to start this session. I'm happy enough to just say, I know that this has to happen here. I know that this black diamond needs to connect with somebody. Let's just do that. Let's just do that. And I need to have, you know, something to block off these pairs of yellows. It just sort of has to work this way, doesn't it? Go with the flow. And maybe something similar is going to have to happen here. But we are still paying attention to the constraints that the puzzle is demanding. So I think this has to be filled. When we've got this logic going on here that we know these 2, we can't have 3 empty spaces all next to each other like this with 3 diamonds of the same color. So how is this going to look? How is this all going to look? I may or may not have to fill that one. Actually, I cannot fill that one because otherwise this guy would be blocked off. So this one has to be empty. There's a yellow empty and a yellow filled forced. How do we connect all this? The wide, the breach here, the separation, there's a lot of empty space to play with in the middle. Like we kind of need... This... Which one is... Oh, I see. Or I think I see. How... What am I pairing? Maybe this one is not going to be filled in like this. That this one... It could be that this one needs to pair with this. So that needs to stay empty. And we instead... Like it kind of... I think we have to fill this one. Because otherwise there's no way we're ever going to pair this black diamond off. So this kind of needs to happen like this. But we also need to leave one white empty, so this has to stay empty here. So now we're bringing out this room to connect with what? We're connecting with this guy somehow, right? This one needs to be in the room with this guy. So would it make sense to just split things? I don't want to just completely split everything, though. I can't go across the middle, I don't think, yet. It might be better to do something like this. So here, this would pair... No, I kind of need... Oh, but here I could do this. I could do something like that. Now, what has... The problems there is, once again, I'm splitting all this stuff. So it might be that I should do this. I'm also still... Oh, but then that disconnects the white. Okay, so if I leave... Oh, but this is disconnected in the corner. Interesting. This has to stay with this somehow. But this is forced to be filled in. Do I need to do this? Oh boy. I'm really... Okay, I'm trying to go with the flow on this one, but I think I need to be much more particular. This one, this yellow still needs a pair. I could do that. Now this guy has a pair here, this guy has a pair here, and this guy has a pair. That feels a lot closer. Now, we might still... Okay, hold on. This one is empty. So what I need to bring this in the fold, don't I? Is that what I'm doing? This black, does it have to pair with this guy? That I might be out over my skis. Let me think about this. This guy here, who does he pair with? This guy? It would make sense. This is the most logical candidate here. The issue, if I do that, the issue is then, how does this guy get? How do we make this guy happy? If I do this, well, maybe I do it like this. But now I have these blue are kind of... This might be a fool's errand to try to make this one big stretch here. It feels required. The only requirements that I think say definitively is that this white diamond has to be paired with this one. These have to be in an empty room. And that, I think, has to exist along this line. Well, maybe there's some other creative way. No, it has to, right? Because this is built, this is the other requirement, I think, is that these squares here have to build out to at least this point. And that means that once I've done that, I've sort of forced the fact that this row down here has to stay empty. Because I couldn't... Yeah, I can't break this line that I've started bringing this... I can't break this room by allowing this empty room with the white diamonds at the bottom. I couldn't, like, send it up and around this way. Or this portion of the board up here. It has to... These have to stay connected on the bottom row. So this one has to stay empty. This teal diamond has to be empty. And it would sure make a lot of sense for it to pair with this one, but it may not be required. Like we could do... Are these two pairing with each other? We might need to look more closely at these black diamonds here to think about exactly who's getting paired with whom. If I do... This guy... Should this guy be paired? We said that this has to happen, right? But we also can't just... If we connect these two like this, then that means the yellow diamond has to be filled in. And then who are we pairing it with? Could be this one down here. But it, which, you know, maybe we should, I feel like I'm going in so many different directions. I'm examining so many different colors. I'm not focusing enough on one particular color. It might be a good idea to just do a reset here. Or maybe even move on to another puzzle and come back to this one. Which I think I'll do. Let's go ahead and move on, because I can feel like I'm up against a wall on that one that I need a fresh brain approach. Just need to clear the slate. This one with just one color's worth of diamonds on a panel looks much more approachable. It might still be very tough, but this feels like maybe I can do this. Maybe I can figure this one out. So the empty space here. We have to figure out a way, I'm sure, to utilize that. Get that to our advantage. Because how are we supposed to segment this board in order to pair everything off? How do we do it? It's got to be something like this, right? Maybe. Something like that. Something like that. And then immediately they throw 3 colors at us. It might be easier to have multiple colors, but I know, well, it all depends on the panel. It all depends on exactly how things, every puzzle is its own special event. Can we just do okay. Just like that. We don't have to put 2 rooms. We can make 3 rooms. Not too bad. Probably don't want to do that. Probably would rather do... this? I like these. So far, these, it probably helps that it's only a 3x4. There's a lot less empty space to consider. There are only so many rooms that you can squeeze into this teeny tiny little board. So you gotta find a way to make it happen. It's gotta happen one way or another. Pretty straightforwardly, I would say. It does make me wonder, are these, how much were these panels in consideration for? Is this an area where, you know, you have overflow panels that just didn't make the cut for like the main portion of the world? Similar to The Witness once again. I'm always thinking with The Witness in mind. In mind, he says, as we're walking past all of these silhouettes of brains. Where do we start here? I don't know that I want to do another set of snaky dance floors just yet. Man, there are so many different silhouettes of faces all over the place. What do we do? Let's go ahead and start over here in the corner. Let's start with this guy. Again, pretty tiny board, pretty restricted space, which is right up my alley at the moment. Keep things simple. You never know, though. You never know if it really is going to be simple or not. We can't mix. We're back to shrine dots. We cannot mix colors here. So, I want to do something like this, but that is too many squares here. I need to be able to go like this. And that is not, that's going to be a bit too much. What if I go like this? Could we do this? Close, but not cutting it yet. I feel like we need to do something cleverly here with diagonals. I don't think we can connect the twos with each other, because that just is by, like, we can't go across. We can't combine the colors. And if I try to go around that 3 that's in between, I all of a sudden have 5. So I'm not connecting the 2s in the same room. I'm somehow using the 3s to split them. They each need to end up in their own room of 2. If I go like... If I go like this... How am I doing this? I said that this was going to be... Let's go to the simple one that doesn't have that many squares. Oh boy. Famous last words. It almost feels like I have to put the 3s in the same space, but maybe not. If I put this one by itself, it would have to be here, wouldn't it? If this one is its own room, maybe not. There's maybe a world where it goes like this. Oh? Is this getting closer to a solution? Could I go like this? No. No. Crap. Dang it. Crap, dang it. Oh, they actually just give you the other puzzles. Oh, you don't have to just... I guess maybe this set of panels here, you have to do one at a time. Okay, well, we're going to come back to that one as well. Let's hit the reset button on that. Wow. Foiled by such a simple looking board. Only momentarily. We will get it in due time. Okay, so this square here is filled in on a 3. So it at least has to go here, and then it could go to one of 3 locations. A 1 that's by itself. And I think probably has to stay by itself. Because I don't think the 2s are gonna... there's not enough dots to reach out and share a room with our empty 1 in the corner. So I think he needs to stay out there in the corner. Could we do... Could we do this, and then this, and then this, and then... Crap. I feel like I'm saying that a lot with these puzzles. And then... Crap. No, there's way too many squares there all of a sudden. These 2s that are all... The way that these are all lined up next to each other, almost like... Are they wanting us to do... No, I think... The fact... Okay, they cannot share rooms. Different colors cannot share rooms. Now, these 3s here could potentially share a room. You could have something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Something like this. Now, that I think that's going to create a problem because at some point I have to build out from this, for this 3, the black 3 dots. And then that's too many. So I don't think that works either. It feels like you have to do something more like this. But this doesn't quite work unless I'm doing... Crap, how do I make this 2? Unless I go like that. That might be the answer. Was that the missing link? Was that it? Let's go. Okay. Whew. A solve. It felt like we had been in need of a solve there for a little while. I guess we had the sequence of those smaller diamond puzzles. But I felt like those were such layups that they almost didn't even count. But we take all puzzles, including layups. They all count. They all count to +1 in the overall puzzle count, correct? This is an interesting layout. Is there any way to do this board that isn't just... Is this the easiest puzzle ever? Am I crazy? Am I being a silly person to not think that that's just the solution? Okay. Talk about layups. Was there potential for overthinking there? Perhaps. But, you know, if you know what's going on with the dots, that feels like maybe the easiest one of them all. I think where we want to start on this one is the fact that these forced single dots, I think these imply that at least this has to happen, right? And that probably means then that this black dot also has to be empty in order for these to all be happy. So then, however, though, that could be a little problematic. Because now how... Okay, that means I think we have to... It's not problematic if we fill in this... I was thinking, I sort of slipped back into Diamond's logic somehow. For this, the 4 cyan dots down here, I was like, well, wait a second. They're up against a forced empty 7 purple dots. The solution is just fill this one in. And probably connect it to this guy. And probably do something like this. Maybe not. It might be better to do this. And then, well, no, that's fine. I think that might be too many squares, actually. It might have to go, might have to do this. And then do this. I'm thinking that... So let's see. Let's make sure I go one step at a time here. I think I've got 7 cyan. I think those guys are all happy now. We've got the 2 and 2 white dots. And then we have 7 here, correct? So this needs 1 more. I think that all works up to this point. Now this 6 forced on the upper corner over here probably means we have to do something like this. So that makes 5. And then we would have... I think it has to be here, because we can't connect to this guy. So that's 6 there. And now we can do 4 here, like this. And then this becomes 5 here. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and everything is happy. Let's go. Are these just 2x2 cubes by themselves? Happy as clams? Maybe not. I think the constraints in the center with the single dots are probably more important. Probably means we're going to have to do something like this. I think that sort of an arrangement is required. So that probably means that this has to happen. And then therefore this has to happen. Maybe, maybe not. I think there's no other place to put the 3. We might be... No, this might have some issues here. Let me just back this up to the start. The single squares here like this does mean that none of these squares to the sides, right, in the cardinal directions, none of those can be filled in. As soon as we do that, those single white dots are going to be unhappy. And I feel like this is a pretty required start. All right. Now, what may not be required, it may not be required that this 3 has to be in a filled in space. That's not necessarily required. This is required to be in an empty space. It could be that we need to do something like this. Well, but that is going to be problematic here because I can't... I eventually need to make 4. The only way to make 4 yellow is like this. Is that right? I can't go in this direction. If I go in this direction, that's going to eventually make the single blue or cyan unhappy. It feels like that's the only way to make that one happy. And does that mean that these squares next to the blue dot have to stay empty? Oh, I could do... No, I can't fill this one in. And so that does mean that the 3 has to be filled, doesn't it? And it would have to be filled like this. And then if I have 5 empty that I need to make, don't I have to fill this in? But then I'm running into a similar problem that I did up here. So somewhere my have-tos are going wrong. Somewhere, somehow, I am misunderstanding exactly what is required. It probably happens at... Maybe let's try a different... Let's feel pretty confident about this start. Let's start from this purple 4 in the bottom left. If in order to fill in 4... Oh, I am... Okay, I actually have more leeway with this 4 than I was thinking. I could do this, or... Well, I can't do that. That's 5. That's too much. And I can't do this, because that's also 5. So it has to be either this or this, I think. The question is which? If I do this way, this empty, the forced empty 5 white, how do I make that? Like, I would have to fill in the 3. Is there a way... Is there a way that I could leave the 3 yellow empty? Could I leave that empty and also satisfy the 5 white? Or maybe this is the more important question here is, if I built my 3 yellow room like this, the 5 white room would have to be here. I can't fill this square in. So it would have to look like this. But I already said before, I can't do that for the purple 4 in this corner. It can't go like this because that's 5, correct? It would have to go like this. So maybe that answers my question. Maybe what I cannot do, I am actually not allowed to fill in the 3 like this. Wow, if that's true though, what do I do? Where does it go if that's not the case? Huh? This might be another one that we should come back to. Maybe this whole section should be one that we don't really get bogged down too much with any one particular puzzle, because there's so many. There's so many puzzles to do here. Just give it your best go, and if it doesn't come together, with relative speed, then move on for now, because there's a lot more game to do. And also at some point, if we get really tired of things, we can go out, try to deduce some environmental puzzles. Lots of different things to do. Don't get too focused in. Seven yellow that I think have to be empty because it's right next to, I can't fill this in because all of a sudden I'm different colors are sharing a room. Can't do that. So this has to be empty. So if that's the case, it probably needs to build in this direction. So we could have 6, 7. We could do this, and then we could do this. And then we would have, how many do we have over here? 8. If I connect, let's see if I connect these like this. That one, yeah. Can I have these instead of this? Why? For some people, who knows? For some minds out there, perhaps this puzzle just came naturally and you had the Taiji flow. And it's all about finding that flow when you can, but it's also the fun thing about puzzle games is the ones that are stumpers for me might be complete cakewalks for somebody else in the audience. Okay, this panel is ginormous. This is the real big brain here. Maybe we should try, let's see what these look like. Yeah, oh, that's right. This is the one that builds out. Well, I like this one, right? I like doing something like this. Oh, wait a second. Are they gonna do what I think they're doing? Does what oh shit. Oh shit. Whatever we put into place for one layer, we're adding one, we're exponentially growing our square here. But whatever we put in place is going to be locked in, I think, for the next puzzle. Whoa. That is going to be fun. That's gonna be a trip. Can I even do this the way I've set this up? Can I even? Surely there must be a way. Or do I need to go back and set it to the way we had before? Oh, this could be really fun. Or really infuriating. And or all of the above. Okay. I'm not, could I have solved this the other way? The way that these, the 6s are laid out, I think I might be forced. This could get really hairy if they are doing what I think they're doing. Wow. Now, maybe if you build it correctly from the start, you'll get a flow that will naturally progress things the way that you need them to. But this could get, ooh, this could be, oh my gosh, this could be something else. Now, if we go back to the very beginning, they did force us to fill in the 2 for what it's worth. I don't know how big of a difference that is going to make here. Let's see if this is something that we can make work. If I try, well, okay, here is a constraint. This 4 is filled. So I think no matter what, that 1 has to be filled. Now, I guess that means that the 6 has to stay empty? I feel like I'm gonna have to go back and redo what I already put in place on the previous level, because I have to have an empty space of 4, but I also have to have an empty space of 6. And that's already given to me, right? I would have to like completely fill this in, wouldn't I? Don't I have to do that? These are giving me individualized feedback still. But how am I gonna make This immediately is making me think that I have to go back to this level, or maybe even this level, and like solve it. There's only two ways to solve this, right? It either has to be this or the other way. And if I do it like this, I'm not sure I can't fill this in, can I? Because everything that I know about Dot says dissimilar colors cannot share room. Just can't. So this 6 has to be in an empty space, doesn't it? But if that's the case, how do we make this work? What? I mean, there has to be a way, but my brain is breaking a little bit trying to realize that way. How would I even solve this puzzle alone, let alone... How would I solve this puzzle by itself, let alone thinking about the next layer, if I build the initial yellow 2-room horizontally? I'm not even sure that's possible, because I need to split the board in a way here that, like, I can't connect this here and I can't connect this here. I feel like they're forcing us. This is one where this has to happen if I'm going to do anything at the next level. And then that sort of forces this to happen. So then, okay, what am I failing to consider here? If I try to put... Have I ever tried... Have I been making an incorrect assumption this entire time? About dissimilar colors? Have I been completely out of bounds when I could have just been adding them this whole time? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 plus 6. Like, there's not some creative math or something that I need to do here to make dissimilar colors work with each other. It sure looks like they just don't. The simple answer is they don't. But how do I make this level work if that's the case? I feel like it's true that there has to happen. But then how exactly am I... Oh, that's how I do this. I was neglecting the fact that I could go like this. That's how I do it. Okay. Multiple solutions at any individual level, but perhaps only one way to solve things in order to progress the puzzle forward. Now it makes a lot of sense. And now this makes a lot of sense. And... well, I mean, we have to fill it in this way, don't we? I need to count squares here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. Now, there's a lot of leeway with how I built that board, so let's see what the next layer... I feel like this over here, I mean, maybe I could like move this a little bit differently with the 3 on the top, but now we're gonna move this outward and see where things get really screwy. Maybe not that screwy. 1, 2, this is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 2 more here. This is a unique way to build these puzzles, and I do enjoy it. But it's new and challenging in a whole new way, in a whole different way. So I want there to be... yeah, I actually want this to be... oh, I could do it like... could I do it like this? That's too many, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's going to be too many. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Could I put the 9th up there? Or could I even put it up here? No, I can't do that because that makes 10. So I have to put 9 up there. So I could... I think I want to, in fact, segment off, build that wall as high as possible on this left-hand side so that I can say I need as much space as possible to make 9. Because then I can do that. In fact, it looks like you probably have to do that. Now we... Okay, this is where I'm going to need to go back to the previous, I think. The previous section needs a little bit of work here. Can I go like this? No, that still needs 4 squares. So I needed to put this over here. No. No, sorry. That has to stay there, question mark? That has to stay there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need 10 total. That's 11 total. I feel like that's the way I had it before. But can I make it work this way? There needs to be 3. No, this one needs to be open, I think. I need to come up with a solution where this square is open. Am I going to have to... Wow, it's almost like the minds... The silhouettes of the faces and the imagery of pouring into someone's minds is almost, it feels a little bit like Inception here, right? We're peeling back the layers of the mind/dream in order to, we're going up to the different layers of Inception to make sure our puzzle flows together. It looks like that is true though. Like this 3 yellow kind of has to exist in an empty space that's like right here in between these single ones. The single ones are just going to be filled in, and they're either going to add to this contiguous space here that has the 6 and the 3, or if this square is empty, then this one here would just be a 1 by itself. But one way or the other... Yeah, we have to rearrange this a little bit. Which means, could I don't think I can build this room any differently. This has to be this 6 here, I think. Because otherwise it touches the yellow 2 room. So if this is set in stone... and I have to have a 4 here, I don't know that I can do this any other way. Unless I am making a mistake thinking, could I... No, I can't. If I make this one like this... If I make that like that, then these... Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting that, I've changed one layer, and that change is reflected in the very next layer, but not in the layer after that. I don't think that helps me in any way, because realistically, if I want to change... If I want to affect things at the current layer that I'm trying to solve, I need to bubble things up one way or the other. And in order to actually change one layer, it is going to depend on what you just did on the previous one. So if I unsolve this and I'm rebuilding this particular layer, I'm not sure it can actually be solved now. I don't think it can. I think we're kind of forced to live with this. And it feels like we're forced to live with this. But I could be saying a whole bunch of force 2s and half 2s that maybe I really am not... I can't say that I'm 100% confident in those, Because then when I get to this stage, like, this doesn't solve. Is it possible that this 3 is not, like, I don't have to fill that one in? Is that the mistake I'm making? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Except I kind of have to fill it in, don't I? I need this square to be out here to make this space of 4 empty. And then at that point, I pretty much have to bring in this 3. Like, I can't just leave it here because there's too many squares in this one. But the problem is, the only way I can see to make things right, I can't... If I do this... Wait, could I have done that? Was that all I had to do, was just move that over a little bit? Was that all I had to do? Holy crap. I just needed... Wow. Oopsie. Oopsie. Is this... Are we good now? Are we good now? Oh, there might still be some potential leeway, like I could fill in some squares here. Well, not here. Let's just look at the next layer and see what we need. Let's see if we can bring it all together here. Finally leave the dream. Get out of the Inception nightmare. This is a good analogy, actually. Okay. This and this and this. Going back to the previous, I don't think I can fill, I can't fill this one in. I cannot, no, that doesn't work. This feels like a pretty good solve. Can I reset? Let's reset this layer. It would make a lot of sense for this to be the case. That preserves this room of 9 right here. And it makes this one happy, and it makes this one happy. So if that's how we're starting, then can we just add these into here? Like this? How many... It's not going to be happy. But the question is, how many squares does this make? We have 9... and then 7, and then 2 is 18, combined with the 10 down here, so it's 28. I mean, I could just go back. I could just go back to this point. I know that there are, what, 11 here? Is that correct? I have 11 here. And then I'm adding in 8 and 9, 17. That's a lot of squares to add. I'm not sure these are all supposed to be filled in. Unless I'm supposed to go... I think what I was supposed to do on this one was go like this. Like, I can do that without changing my solution on this layer. And now that gives me the ability to connect this room here, which is probably what I need to do to bring in that many squares. So how many does that add? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that makes those all happy. Okay. All right, I feel like we're getting places. Can we finish this off? I think we are... We're probably required to go like... okay, what are we doing with... Oh, I guess we do... No, that's too many. Huh. We've got a bit of a difficulty here with the 3s in the corner. The 2 yellow 3s. The fact that this one is filled in, I think that was required. The previous layer, I think, dictated that that had to happen. Sure feels like that had to happen. Which means that this purple 3 has to be empty. But this 3 here is also empty. And doesn't it kind of have to go with this guy? Like, doesn't that... Oh, that could happen, and that's... Then everything is fine. Okay, so the only... Now, okay. Iron that little wrinkle out. Now, can I just... This is where, though, I was starting to get a little bit... I think when I started here, I was noticing the... Oh, wait, I think maybe I could solve this at the previous layer, because I filled this square in, but didn't have to. Now I think that gives me the space I need to do what I want. Did we get there? Wait. Wait. No, we're so close. We are so gosh darn close. No, this is so tantalizingly close. Can I... Crap. This needs to be empty, I think. This has to be empty here. This feels so close. So very close. But then what do I do? Oh! But wait, I can't open that up. Except I can. Let's go. Oh, that feels amazing. That was a really good... There, it reminds me of... There was kind of a similar... It worked differently. But there was a series of panels in the Witness, one particular area, where you had to... And there were several different panels that you kind of solved independently, but they also needed to be solved simultaneously. If you know the game, you know which set of panels I'm talking about. This one is not an exact equivalent, but it kind of mirrors that, the fact that these all need to play ball. But it's done in a different way, which is really cool. I really, really enjoy the inception there. That was a good one. That was great. All right, I think that is where we will wrap up this installment of Taiji. I did spend a little bit of time as well mulling over a couple different environmental puzzles, trying to figure out what to look for in a couple different areas. And so far, just nothing is... I'm really not getting anything. Like some of these, like the snaky, mazy dance floors. I don't know what this is supposed to correspond to. There's this... It's like there's another 9x9 grid, which does happen to be the same size as the map. But also there's like these couple little sections that are missing, and I just don't know what to make of that yet. And several of these areas, like the shrine and the diamonds, like I just don't know what these grids are even supposed to correspond to. We kind of have an idea, I think, with the ones and zeros, and maybe with the lines. Like we at least know what part. There's like gravestones and solar panels that we've identified as actually corresponding to the grid. We just don't quite know what the solution is. But yeah, these there's a lot of legwork still to do on these environmental panels. And of course, we still have the hub puzzle, which I'm putting off, at least for the moment. We'll see at what point we decide to delve into and try to open that up, because it just feels like one of these things that's like an end game thing, and I'm kind of saving it for last in my mind. But we'll see how everything goes. There's still a lot more puzzles to do in the behind the waterfall section, and I really did enjoy the layers of inception that we had to peel back on that last section of panels. So it's a lot of fun here that we're continuing to have solving puzzles. Still so many mysteries that feel like they're going to require quite a bit of mulling over. But I'm excited to eventually get the progress in each one of those areas. So once again, stay tuned for more puzzle solving the next time around. Thank you all very much for joining me, and I hope to see you in the next one.